Hey guys, it is Thursday, which means another food for thought. So I've got a really fun one for you guys today. I've been spending some time with the Lord in the Word this morning, sitting right over there in that chair with my Bible, my journal, and a little heater so I can stay warm because it's cold down here. But I want to show you guys what God was showing me in the Word this morning. In 7 more days, the mandatory social distancing order will be lifted. In 7 more days. 7 days. What's important about the word 7? About the number 7? Well, if you Google the importance and significance of the number 7 in the word, it comes up with lots of different things. And just to name off a few, 7 is significant in the Hebrew language for meaning completion or perfection. The number 7 appears over 700 times in the Bible, in the scriptures. The 7th day was the day that God rested after he got done creating the whole world. There were 7 churches that letters were written to in Revelation. Also in Revelation, there's 7 horns and 7 eyes on the Lamb that was slain. 7 also represents exoneration and healing and fulfillment of promises and oaths. So I'd just like us to go really quickly through some of these examples in the Word and why it's so important that we're 7 days away from our 40-day mark in this changing opportunity we have in the Lord. So number 1, the word or the number 7 is a representation of completion and perfection. I want us to think back all the way back to Genesis, the very beginning of the Bible. You've got God and he creates the heavens and the earth, and he creates water, then he creates night and day. Not in that order, I mixed it up a little bit, but you get what I'm saying. He creates all this stuff in 6 days, and on the 7th day, he rests. It's an example for how we shouldn't go all of our lives working, and never taking a break. And he actually set apart a day for us to rest, the Sabbath. So on Sundays for us, our Sabbath is Sunday. We get an opportunity to go glorify the Lord and rest, not have to work and stuff like that. It's really cool. See, the cycle of this week would not be complete without a day of rest. 7's important. Not only that, but in the completion of the crucifixion, Jesus actually said 7 things in agony through the word. And I'll just throw up some scriptures. You guys can go check them out yourself. Luke 23:34, Luke 23:43, John 19:26 through 27, Matthew 27:46, John 19:28, John 19:30, and Luke 23:46. Each and every one of these are phrases that Jesus said that was a completion of his crucifixion. So the Lord also says 7 specific phrases in the Lord's Prayer. If you go back and you look at it, there are 7 specific sections of this prayer. That's crazy. I've never thought about it like that before. So that's completion and perfection. What about exoneration and healing? Well, the 7th year in the Old Testament was a very important year to the Israelites, and something God specifically told them on the 7th year in Deuteronomy 15:1-2. It says that all the Israelites are supposed to cancel every debt that they had with everybody. Everybody's supposed to cancel debt, and it was the year that you were supposed to release all of your slaves. That's very important. And then in Matthew 18:21-22, Peter's asking Jesus practically like, hey, how many times do I actually have to forgive this person? And Jesus says 70 times, 7 times. There's that 7 again. Jesus healed 7 people specifically on the Sabbath, not just on a Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, on a holy day that was supposed to be a day of rest. But he gave an example of how it doesn't matter what the rules are. Whenever you specifically go out of your way to be Jesus, to be love to people, that's not work. That's just how life is supposed to be. It's really cool. So he healed 7 people recorded on the Sabbath. Number 3 was fulfillment of promises and oaths. See, the Hebrew word for swearing an oath is shabbat. I might be pronouncing that incorrectly because I don't really speak Hebrew, but that's how it looks like in English, Shabbat. And the Hebrew word for 7, Sheba, literally the same spelling. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen right here so you guys can see it. So right here we've got the Hebrew word for swearing an oath, which is shabah. Then right here we've got the Hebrew word for 7, which is sheba. Both derive from the Hebrew word meaning satisfaction or fulfillment, which is sabah. That's so cool. God promises not to flood the earth ever again and leaves the rainbow as a reminder. Think about it. There's 7 colors in the rainbow. There's that number again, 7. There's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Roy G. Biv. That's all you got to remember. So 7 is important. You've got 7 days left before this whole 40-day quarantine is released, before this whole 40-day quarantine is lifted and stopped. 7 days left before social distancing rule is lifted. It also happens to be the 40th day of this quarantine, which lots of theologians think is the number 40 means change. Will you see change in these next 7 days? Will you pursue relentlessly after Jesus and love Him enough to do more in these next 7 days than we've done in this past whole quarantine? Will you dive deeper into His Word? Will you dive deeper into praying? Will you dive deeper into worshiping deeper? Only time will tell, and only you will be able to tell what time's going to do, because you've got all the authority, you've got all the power to do what you need to do. God's given you a choice. He loves you enough to give you that choice. So will we love Him in these next 7 days? I ask you not to give up. I ask you not to stop pursuing. If you haven't started, start now. Just like we said last night in service, we've got some amazing weapons readily available for us, the Word and our social media. So let's do this. Let's grow in the next 7 days. 7 more days to give everything we can before we go back to a somewhat normal schedule. I'm praying it's not going to be normal. I pray when we get back after this quarantine, we recognize how good we really had it. I was talking to Gavin the other day, and he's like, yeah, I just miss some Mexican food. Me too. And used to, I was like, I don't want to have Mexican. I have it like almost every other day. But now I'm just like, man, I could really go for some Jim nachos right now. And we both recognize, man, I'm going to really put forth effort in cherishing the moments I've got when I go out to eat with my friends. Stuff like that. But what are we going to make? That's good to look forward to. That's good to set our minds on, like, I can't wait for that to happen. But what are we doing now in the waiting is what I'm asking. 7 days. That's an important number. It's going to be the 40th day, which is the number of change. Will you change with me? I challenge you to share this with everybody that you can. Put on your stories, like it, and make sure that this gets out for everybody to hear. I love you guys, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.